I believe Tengen and Kenjaku might have been two friends who preached the same philosophy and fell out at some point in time. I'm thinking they're inspired by two of the three schools of Buddhism, Theravada and Mahayana. What are these three schools of Buddhism and why are they so relevant? Well, I believe Kenjaku, Tengen and Sukuna to be direct representations of these schools, and they could even be considered paths that these characters will follow. Now, to add more context, the first school is Theravada, which I mentioned before. This is the oldest school of Buddhism, focusing on your own enlightenment and helping a selected group by preaching or teaching them. Now, Tengen practices this path. According to Buddhist tradition, a school needs to have a successor, and when we look at JJK, the only person that fits the description for this first school is none other than Gojo. The second school is Mahayana, and this is about delaying your own enlightenment to help every sentient being attain nirvana first because of compassion. Kenjaku practices this path, with its successor being Yuji. Now the third and final school is Vajrayana, and they believe that the shortest way to attain nirvana is by tantric practices or rituals, which are basically about torture or enduring pain, and this is all done in order to attain enlightenment in the fastest way possible. Of course, Sukuna practices this, and its successor being none other than Megumi. Ultimately, both schools offer a different approach to attain nirvana or enlightenment, but we're now going to focus more on the first two. These two schools used to exist side by side until Mahayana became its own tradition. Theravada mostly believe in individual enlightenment, but Mahayana teaches that all humans possess the seed of awakening. Familiar? Well, Kenjaku's plan is to guide all of mankind to the other side, which might as well be what the merger of mankind with Tengen is all about. Kenjaku's plan of merging mankind with Tengen will result in people surpassing the heights of a sorcerer and becoming a completely new being, which is sort of like a forced evolution. Now this is his own way of achieving enlightenment. Therefore, you can say that Kenny is motivated by the desire to awaken and help all beings realize their true nature, which is also an ingrained aspect of Buddhism. I still firmly believe that both Kenjaku and Tengen are people who have their own way of making followers reach nirvana. Hence why I've always believed Kenjaku to be a bodhisattva. And if you don't know what that means, don't worry, I'll just put it on the screen right now. Anyways, his line of thinking and the way of showcasing his beliefs truly connect him to the Mahayana school. To go back to Tengen, why do I tie him to the first school? Well, this is the oldest school. We don't know whether there used to be someone who was like a teacher to Tengen and Kenjaku, nor do I know if Tengen is the original founder, but what I do know is that the Theravada follow a monastic tradition. Who else is described to live as a monk? Yes, it's Tengen. Tengen is the only one being called out for their way of living like a monk by two people who seem to know her personally. It's Gege and Kenjaku who called Tengen a monk or a shut-in, and this perfectly described the school of Theravada. Finally, regarding the third school, Vajrayana, which is Sukuna's, the way it is described is oddly similar to the story of the conjoined twin mythology of Sukuna, who endured torture and all kinds of mistreatment in its early years of life. I also made a video dedicated to it a couple of weeks ago, so check it out if you're interested. Thanks for watching this video. I might be completely wrong, but then again, we know JJK is heavily tied to Buddhism, so anything is possible. Let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on this cause? Maybe I'm reaching, but who knows. Thanks again, and see y'all later.